Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy D Lloyd, and welcome back to another episode of our Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 21 Connected Franchise series here in the Premier Madden League. So the last episode, unfortunately, we did lose in the NFC Championship game to the Detroit Lions. They ended up taking on the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, and that when the Patriots came out on top. But we went through the offseason. Unfortunately, I wasn't home for every part of the offseason, so I figured why not just do a recap when we get to week one of the offseason. So what we're going to do here is just go through our roster, and we're going to talk about some of the new additions, some of the, what our thought process was, signing some players, letting some guys walk, and you guys can see, our roster going into week one of season number 2, man. So right away, we're going to look at the quarterback situation. Now, I know, D Lloyd, what are you thinking with 5 quarterbacks on your roster? Well, we went into the offseason knowing Tom Brady was going to regress, and he did. He's down to an 84 overall. He was down to an 83, I believe, and then we moved him up to an 84. We knew he was going to regress hard. So our initial plan was we wanted to bring Streveler back, and we did. A 1-year deal worth, $1.25 million. It wasn't worth a lot at all. We were able to bring him back, had that 89 speed. We wanted to keep him running some of those packages, so we brought him back. Josh Rosen, we got to an insanely cheap deal, and we locked him up for 4 years. You see, only making $3 million to $4 million a year for the remainder of the contract wasn't a bad deal. So that was the initial plan with Tom Brady, bring everybody back. But then Marcus Mariota was a free agent, and I like the 88 speed, and it's basically what I wanted with Streveler. But, he could throw the ball a little bit better, and he's only 27, so only 1 year older. So we brought him in for a 4-year deal. You see, at $4 million, $5 million, $5 million, and $5 million. So I figured, okay, I paid for Rosen, I paid for Mariota. It's not that bad. Now, come draft night, we had Brady, Mariota, Rosen, and Streveler. Kyle Trask was a guy that some people projected that we would pick in the first round at the end, but of course we had Rosen and Mariota. So we didn't look at a quarterback at all. But Kyle Trask fell to us in the 3rd round of the draft. The 3rd round. So if you go to awards, you see 3rd round, 30th pick. He was still sitting there. So we drafted him. And look at his contract. He's getting less than $1 million for 4 years. And on top of that, Kyle Trask came in with star development, guys. Star development. He has an upgrade. He already has enough XP to go up to a 70 overall. Now, the dilemma here is he doesn't have the speed that the other guys have, 72 speed, but he does everything else, and he can throw the ball pretty well. So I don't know if he's the guy moving forward, if it's Mariota, I don't know, man. But we have 5 quarterbacks on the roster, which means we had to skimp out on some other positions. At the running back spot, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. Those are the main guys. Ronald Jones has 1 year left on his deal, but he kind of took over as our main guy at the end of the season. When we look at Leonard Fournette, we re-signed him to a decent deal. I believe it was 3 years. He wanted 5 years. We gave him 3 years, giving him $6 million per season. So not a cheap contract, but it didn't kill us, man. And to have that 1-2 punch, because Leonard Fournette has that 92 speed, has the 92 trucking, has the 85 break tackling. So we wanted him to come out here and really be that second guy to Ronald Jones. But we do know Leonard Fournette likes to get hurt a lot. So we don't want him to be the main guy. So we need both if we're going to keep Leonard Fournette. I think that's what we did, man. Keyshawn Vaughn is going to be our 3rd back for right now. Fullback, we did sign Roosevelt Nix. Not a big deal at all, but we just wanted a fullback so we can kind of go to some eye and some strong formations. Wide receivers, Mike Evans, obviously he's back. We signed Chris Godwin last season to the long-term deal. Now, Terrace Marshall Jr. is another guy that we weren't looking for. We were not looking for a wide receiver, but this was just a value pick. He comes in with star development. He comes in with 90 speed, spectacular catch already in 89. His route running definitely needs some improving, but he's 6'3". So the reason we got him in the draft is because once again he fell to the 2nd round. He was a 1st round guy who fell to the end of the 2nd round, so we picked him up. So it was really a value at that spot. 74 overall, you're not beating that, man, in the 2nd round. So we went with Terrace Marshall Jr. We still have Scotty Miller, who has star development now with that 94 speed. We still have Tyler Johnson, Warren Jackson. We drafted at the end of the draft, but we brought him in because he's 6'6", 219. We can add some weight to him, and we can move him to tight end. But you see, he's making under $1 million a year. We got him in the 4th round. So that was the thought process. I know we didn't need wide receivers, but that's the thought process there. Speaking of tight ends, Rob Gronkowski did not regress as much as I thought he was going to regress. I thought he was going to regress way more, and that's it. His catching went down 2, his catching traffic went down 1, and his awareness went down 1, and that was it. So Gronk wanted a long-term deal. We did not give him a long-term deal. We couldn't work out anything shorter, so we franchise tagged Rob Gronkowski for $10 million, which we paid him last season. So basically the same exact deal as last year. We brought him back for another year. We'll see if we can figure something out along the road. OJ Howard, he has 1 year left on his deal, but he is back for another year. Then we have Cameron Brate, who's making $16.5 million this year, but we can release him at any point. But I might want to go some 3 tight end sets, so we're going to hold on to all of them for now. Left tackle is definitely a weak spot for us. Cameron Irving, we had to bring him in just because there was nobody there, nobody else there for us. Pass blocking only a 74, run blocking only a 71. Doesn't have crazy strength. I'm not in love with him, man. He's giving up some sacks in preseason, but he was really the only guy there. So 1 year, $2.5 million. We brought in Cameron Irving to be our left tackle. Ali Marpet, this guy is a monster. He's going to be our left guard. Really nothing to say there. He's going to be our left guard hopefully for a while. Ryan Jensen did regress. He's down to an 83 overall, but he's still a very, very solid center, so we're going to rock with him. Alex Kappa, we brought him back. There was nobody else out there at the guard position, man. So a weak point there. And then Tristan Wirfs, so we have been developing some. He's up to a 79 overall now. Still star development, 22 years old. I mean, the run blocking, 78, pass blocking, not the greatest, but we can move that up a little bit. So I like him, 91 strength. Hopefully he's with us for some time to come also. Left end, we end up moving Jason Pierre-Paul to left end. Now, before we go into the whole defense, it'll make sense when I tell you, last season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we ran a 3-4 defense. We are switching to a 4-3 defense this year. I think our personnel fits a little bit better with that 4-3, and that's why you see Pierre-Paul from left outside linebacker to left end. With that said, he regressed hard in the offseason. He did get the star development because he won an award, I believe, but the change of direction, acceleration, tackling went down 4, pursuit went down 5, finesse moves went down 8 points to his finesse moves, man. But he's going to be rocking with us at left end this season. Hopefully that's good enough, man. We'll see. Right end, we have Khalil Davis, but you'll see why, because right end is not going to be Khalil Davis. He's definitely the backup. Vita Vea is going to be the guy at defensive tackle. We try to go after some other guys in the trade market. We struck out, essentially. We end up signing Damon Snacks Harrison Sr., man. So we got 2 big guys at defensive tackle, 347 pounds, 353 pounds. We just need them not to move. Just stay put and let our linebackers come in and tackle the running back, man. I think that is the goal. And hopefully, these 2 guys could do that for us. But we did sign them. Let's look at, I think it was a 1-year deal that we got Snacks, man. Let's look at his contract. Yeah, 1 year, $10 million deal. So we had some money to go. Like I said, I tried to trade for some other guys. Mainly Grady Jarrett was a main guy we were trying to go after. Couldn't get anything done. So we spent some of that money right there on Damon Harrison Sr. Left outside linebacker is Anthony Nelson. He would not start at left outside linebacker for us. Middle linebacker, we have Levante David. He regressed a little bit, but he's still a very, very solid linebacker that we did sign to that new contract extension, so we don't need him to regress too hard, but just his tackling and his pursuit went down. But you see linebacker of the year, defensive player of the year, all that good stuff, man. I think that kept him from regressing too bad, so he's going to be in the middle. Devin White is going to move to right outside linebacker in this 4-3. So, like I said, you just got to bear with me with some of these positionings, man. But Devin White is going to be our right outside linebacker with that 92 speed, 79 block shedding, but his zone coverage is an 80. So, I definitely like Devin White a whole lot, and I think he will do work at that right outside linebacker position. With that said, when you look at our actual right outside linebackers, we have Shaq Barrett. We signed him to that big deal. Shaq Barrett will be moving to right end. He will not be a linebacker this season, right end. The reason why I couldn't change his position here, because in this league, once you are a superstar or you have an ability, so superstar or X Factor, you can't change the position. So he's out here with strip specialist. He has BOGO, and that's it, man. He's going to be right end. He's not going to be dropping back too much, but we know with the 7 zone, we can drop him back from time to time, but he's going to be right end. With that said, Jabril Cox, who was our first round pick at the end of the first round, we got him 30th in the first round. You take a look at the awards, you'll see that right there. First round pick, 30th pick. Not a bad deal, making about $2 million per season. And the thing with Jabril Cox is he is a run stuffing linebacker. So he is going to be our starting left outside linebacker going into the season. 86 speed, block shedding already an 81. Zone coverage, not the greatest, but it's okay. Power moves isn't the best either. Finesse moves isn't the best either, but he's not getting after the quarterback as much. Tackling, we want to definitely try to improve that a little bit, but I do like the pursuit. I like Jabril Cox. I think he's a guy we could definitely build up. 22 years old, rookie, out of LSU, also played at North Dakota State. I like Jabril Cox a lot, man. He's going to be our starting left outside linebacker. When we go to cornerbacks, man, we didn't make any moves, really, when it comes to our corners. But we got very, very solid corners, man. So Sean Murphy-Bunting, SMB, he is coming back, 6 foot, 24 years old, 93 speed, 90 man coverage now, 77 zone, 81 play rec. This dude is a monster with that 73 catching, and he has the aggressive play ball tendency. So I'm looking for a big year from Sean Murphy-Bunting. When you look at his stats last season, man, he had a great year with 7 interceptions. So hopefully, he gets some more picks. I don't think he'll get 7 because I will hope people don't throw the ball to his side as much, but you never know. We also got Jamel Dean, who's going to be very, very solid for us. He is 6'1", so a little bit taller, but he has the press coverage there. Man coverage is solid. Zone coverage is solid. And last season for him was very, very decent for him too. 7 interceptions. The main thing with both these guys, they got this year, then next year left on their deal, and he's going to want way more than $1 million moving forward. So we have to kind of budget for that long term. Carlton Davis, who also had a very good year, is going to come back to be our nickel corner. 89 speed, not as fast, but he has the man coverage, has the zone coverage, has the press ability. So we want these guys really grow and stay in our system. He had 9 interceptions last year for Carlton Davis. So same thing with him, except he only has 1 year left on his deal. So we're going to have to extend him this season. But I think these guys are definitely worth it, man. Free safety, Antoine Winfield Jr. became an X Factor right before the Super Bowl for winning, I think, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Reinforcement is his ability, which is, we're going to take it. We're going to take anything, man. He has unfakeable and he has mid-zone KO, which is huge. 89 overall at the age of 23 years old. He has some years left on his deal, but last season, 9 interceptions, had a sack, had 88 tackles. I like what Antoine Winfield brings, man. He has 3 years left on his deal before we have to pay him. But that's going to be our free safety. Jordan Whitehead, because we lost, I was about to say Ed Reed, man. We lost, why can't I think of it? Earl Thomas. Dang, I couldn't think of his name. We lost Earl Thomas. He actually went back to Baltimore. So Jordan Whitehead is going to be our starting strong safety, and I have no problems putting him out there. He has 86 speed, hit power only 79. I wish it was a little bit higher. But zone coverage is solid, man coverage is solid, pursuit could be worked on a little bit, but I think, you can't have great players everywhere on the field, but I do think he will get the job done for us there. Greg Joseph is going to be our kicker going into this season, and then Bradley Pinion is going to be our punter once again, man. So that was basically our offseason. That is our roster going into it. We have all of our draft picks this season. Yeah, man, I think we are ready to kind of compete again in the NFC South. Hopefully, we can get back in the playoffs. Hopefully, if we do make the playoffs, we can do a better run in the playoffs. We do have a tough schedule this season. So, we had a somewhat of an easier schedule last year. We don't have that this season, man. You look at the preseason, obviously, we can't pull up the stats anymore. We went 4-0, but it really doesn't matter too much. It was preseason. We were trying out a lot of stuff. Mariota looked really, really good for us, though, in preseason. So I don't really know we want to go for there. But we start off with our NFC South rivals to start off the first 3 weeks. We host the Saints, travel to the Panthers, they had the #1 pick And with that, they went with Fields as their quarterback, man. And that's going to be hard because the Panthers always play us tough. Then we go back to the Atlanta Falcons. Then we have Washington football team, go back to the Panthers, and then we have the Seahawks, the Dolphins, who was a playoff team, Bills, a very good team, the Cowboys, who we just played in the playoffs. So we have a tough schedule going this year. We go against the Lions again, Giants, who beat us last season. The Saints have a new user who's supposed to be really, really good, man. So we'll see how everything goes there. And then, of course, Super Bowl champs on the last week of the season, man. But that's everything for this episode. Like I said, we're going to go ahead, get into week 1. Expect that video around Wednesday. I'm thinking we should be able to play this game Monday night, Tuesday night at the latest, because we have to play before Tuesday. So hopefully Wednesday we can have the actual gameplay for week 1, man. But that's everything for this episode. Like I said before, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys thought of our off-season moves and our team for this season. Do you think, we could repeat? Think we could do just as good as last year? I don't know. Don't ignore Trash as starting quarterback. It'll be Brady as a starting quarterback, man. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the offseason moves in the comment section below. It's your boy D Lloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.